Hello students, let us go for the next module, that is verification and validation of simulation models. So let us see what is an validation and what is an verification. So verification is nothing but building the model correctly. Or you can say verification is concerned with building the model right, and whereas validation is concerned with building the right model. So here validation is nothing but building the correct model, so it will be an accurate representation of a real system. So after the validation process, you'll be getting the accurate representation of the real system. So here the main goal of the validation process is to produce a model that represents true behavior closely enough for the model to be used as a substitute for actual system for the purpose of experimenting with the system behavior and predicting system performance. That means what is the main goal of validation process is to produce a model that represents all the behaviors of the actual system. Okay, so suppose if you want to build a complex system, so you cannot build it directly, you have to go for the modeling. Okay, because building the complex system is very difficult, so that's why we have to model it initially. So you have to have all the properties, maybe the important properties of all the of that particular actual system has to be implemented in the modeling, and you have to experiment with that model. Okay, you have to experiment the system behavior of the particular model, and also you have to predict the system performance of the actual system. And next thing is, another goal of validation process is to increase the model's credibility to an acceptable level. So what is the meaning of this model's credibility? That means when the modeling is done, and after modeling you are going to implement the actual system there, this actual system has to be satisfied by the customer, is it? So this model acts for the trustworthiness of the particular model, means to build the trust relationship, or the trustworthy relationship between the customer and the developer. They are going to do the validation process for the model actually here. So let us see the important question here. Uh, the question here is explain with the neat diagram model building and verification and validation process. So you have three steps, that is real system, conceptual model, and operational model. In the very first step, the first step in the model building consists of observing the real system and interactions among the various components and collecting the data on its behavior. And also you have to interact with the persons familiar with the system or subsystem. You have to question them to take the advantage of their knowledge. And other persons whom you are going to question here is operators, supervisors, technicians, etc. They also have to be questioned because you have to gain more knowledge about the system. So as a model development proceeds, new questions may arise and model developers may have to return to this first step, that is real system here. And the next step is conceptual model. The second step in the model building is the construction of the conceptual model, which includes the collection of the assumptions on the system components, structural assumptions, or the structure of the system has to be monitored, and also input parameters and data assumptions also have to be done. And the third step in that third step is the translation of the conceptual model into the operational model. The model builder has to return to this each and every step, that is real system, conceptual model, and operational model. So each and every step he has to return, and as many times he needs, while building, verifying, and validating the model. So this repetitions will be done when he is going to verify and validating the model. So that's why each and every step is being repeated. So what is verification? The purpose here is to ensure the conceptual model is reflected accurately as you are going to represent in the computerized representation. So there are common suggestions here while doing the verification process. So this is, I have said in the previous slide, so same thing is being repeated here. So what are the suggestions here is have someone else check the model, make a flow diagram, and also closely examine the model output for reasonableness under the variety of input parameter settings, and also print the input parameters at the end of the simulation by making sure that they have been changed inadvertently. So let us see what are the important tools for verification. You have to do the documentation, and also you have to do tracing and the animations. Documentation is needed here, and it means clarifying the logic of a model and verifying its completeness. And also you have to use a trace. Trace is nothing but a detailed printout of state of the simulation model over the time. And also you can do the animations. If the computerized representation is being animated, we have to verify what is seen in the animation indicates the actual system. See what is calibration and validation. Validation is the overall process of comparing the model and its behavior to the real system. So you are building the simulation model, so you have to compare the behavior of the simulation model with respect to the real system. So that is called validation. So what is calibration? Calibration is an iterative process of comparing the model to the real system and making the adjustments wherever you need. Okay, so you can see the diagram here. You have a real system, you are going to compare the model to the reality. So you will be having initial model, next revised model, that is first revision model, and second revision model, like this. So initial model will be the first model you are going to develop with respect to the real system, and you are going to compare whether this initial model matches with the real system. Okay, so that comparison is made. If not, again you are doing certain changes in the initial model, and then you are going to the next revision model, that is first revision model. You will be going to develop based on the knowledge you have gained from the persons, or you may need to do certain changes. So that's why you may have gone from the initial model to the next revision model, and again certain modifications if they are going to do. Again the second revision model is being done, and this is again this particular second revision model also being revised. Why? Because they are comparing the second revision model with the real system. If the real system the actual system does not match with the model you have been built, then again they are going to revise these particular steps. So that is the calibration process. Calibration and validation. So what do you mean by calibration? Calibration is the iterative process of comparing the model to the real system, and also you have to make the adjustments to the model, comparing the revised model to the reality, and also you have to make the additional adjustments, comparing again and again. So here there are 3 steps. So no model is ever perfect representation of the system. So you cannot say every model you are going to represent, or the revised model or the initial model, whatever it may be, you are going to build, that may not be perfect representation of the system. So the following 3 steps approach is aided in the validation process. So the first step is build a model that has a high face validity. Next is validate the model assumptions, and next is compare the model input output transformations with the real systems data. So the first step or first approach in the validation process is building a So the first step or first approach in the validation process is building a model that has high face validity. So here the first goal of the simulation model is to construct a model that appears reasonable to model users and others who are knowledgeable about the system. So here it is very important when it is impossible to collect the data from the system. Okay, so ensure a high degree of realism. That means the potential users should be involved in the model construction phase. Okay, and the sensitivity analysis also being used to check a model's face validity. Uh, that means so the model user is being asked if model behaves in the expected way when one or more input variables are being changed. Okay, so that is meant by sensitivity analysis. So for example, in a queuing system, if you consider if the arrival rate of the customer were to increase, it is expected that the server utilization and queue length also has to be increased. Okay, so that is sensitivity analysis. So if one increases, if the arrival rate increases, then it will affect the server utilization and also the queue length also will be increased. So that is about the face validity, how you are going to check the face validity. And what and all things you have to remember here is the model should appear reasonable to the model users and others who are knowledgeable about the system. So that is about this high face validity. So next is second step is validating the model assumptions. So second step in validation process. So model assumptions are of two kinds, that is structural assumption and data assumption. So structural assumption means it involves questions of how the system operates, and data assumption is nothing but you are going to check the uh, reliability of the data and its statistical analysis. Okay, structural assumptions, for example, you can consider customer queuing and service facility in a bank. So number of queues may be 1 or 2 or 3 or etc. The customers may be moving from one queue to other queue, that is queue discipline may be FIFO, etc. So this is nothing but the structural assumptions. So for that particular case, that is a structural assumption. We are going to consider few queue discipline, or you say how many number of servers should be there, like this. Okay, the number of queues, it may be 1 or 2 or 3. So such things are the structural assumptions. So these structural assumptions should be verified by the actual observation during the appropriate time periods. Together you have to discuss with the managers and the teller regarding the bank policies and actual implementation of the policy. So that is about the, actually the structural assumption. So input data assumptions also has to be considered. So that means inter-arrival time of the customer, service times of the commercial accounts. So these are the data assumptions you are going to consider for this particular example. Okay, so what and all you have to verify the data reliability with the bank managers, and also test correlation and goodness of fit test also has to be done. So last process in the validation process, that is validate the input output transformation. So goal here is to validate the model's ability to predict the future behavior. So in this phase, the model accepts the value of the input parameters and transforms these inputs into the output measures of the performance. The structure of the model should be accurate enough for the model to make good predictions, not just for the input data set but also for the range of input data sets. So the model should use the responses as criteria for validating the model. So for example, in queuing system, responses may be a server utilization, queue length, and so on. Okay, so this is one of the example we are going to consider. So one possible approach for the validating the input-output transformation is to use the historical data that have been reserved for validation purposes only. So what are the goal here is goals are objective test of the model, and you have to also have to go for the structure of the model that has to be accurate enough to make the good predictions. So take one example for the validating the input output transformation. So example here is one driving window serviced by one teller. So there is one particular bank where one one banker is being sitting there, and only he is going to do one or two transactions at a time. So here the data collection is being done for the particular case, and 90 customers are attended during the interval of time 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So in this particular case, the observed services are S is represented by SI. So the service time for first customer may be S1, second customer may be S2, like this. So up to S90 customers, they have given different service times. Okay, but not given here, but you have to it is a observed service time. And here next thing is observed interarrival times, so that is represented with AI, and I is equal to, again it ranges from 1 to 90. That means again there are 90 customers, so that's why it is ranging from 1 to 90. So there are different interarrival times. Maybe A1 represents the interval time of the first customer, A2 represents the interarrival time of the second customer, so like this. Okay, so next thing is the data analysis being done, and they are going to get a conclusion on that particular example. So what is the conclusion here is the interarrival times. So after the analysis, they are going to have a conclusion that the interarrival times are exponentially distributed with rate lambda is equal to 45, and also you have that is the service times are also normally distributed with mean 1.1 and standard deviation 0.2 minutes. Okay, so this is a representation. So n here represents its normal distributed, 1.1 represents the mean value, and next value, that is 0.2, represents the standard deviation value. So this is the values they have got after the data analysis.